What did you wrong with my hand? Took my brain from my skeleton, put it on a silver platter. Mouse trap, snakes and ladders. I said I love you, but that just won't fix it. We'll see each other in heaven. Glad you left right now, silly, but that just won't fix it. We'll see each other in heaven and heaven and heaven and heaven, heaven and heaven and heaven and heaven, heaven and heaven and heaven and heaven and heaven, heaven and heaven, heaven and heaven.
To adventure, like the call to leave behind the everyday world, the common, ordinary world of family and social reality, and go in quest of something, not even quite sure what it is, but somehow motivated. This whole question of what starts somebody off, on the transformation quest, the process is a very interesting one.
everybody then. Dude. Hand. Eyes. Waiting. Participating. We're just gonna wait for people to show up more. Shout out to everybody on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram. I know I got to see a couple people on Twitch. Parrot, Tybrid, what's up? How is everybody doing? Just waiting a little bit for people to show up, but in the meantime, especially if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to rewind some of these parts. But for those who don't know, creator of Apple Black here. Common question is, oh, we're doing this live stream thing, you know, what's really happening? Is Apple Black over? No, I'm still writing and producing Apple Black, still writing volume 6 and 7, and honestly beyond that, without going into too much detail, that is still well on the way on the, I don't know, stove, you know. So that continues. Shout out to everybody who's purchased Apple Black volume 1 to 5, including the light novel if you're that type of reader. Right here. Let's see what we got. We got words, and then some. You get a picture here and there. Actually, let's see. There's like a organization in the series. It's almost like you could say like our Akatsuki, Espada, whatever. It's been talked about a little bit in Apple Black, but the light novel is the first time you kind of touch on it and actually meet some characters as well. I will say that has been fun to put together. But again, you got the whole Apple Black book family right here. So highly recommend you guys go check that out if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you very much. Leave reviews on Amazon and Goodreads. If you don't know what Goodreads is, it's basically a site for specifically like reviews and stuff. I am Hero. Yo. Appreciate you. You got the OG volume 1 and 2. Appreciate you, man. That's here. So this was the version of the book that I had all those years ago. I want to say self-publishing, but not entirely. But for the most part, self-published by myself. And so that was fun. And for those who got the books, that's how I know you're like really OG. But the books were remastered for the new print run, the new versions of the books, the Rockport version of the books, that Rockport edition. And now the books are published worldwide and in some new languages. Apple Black is in Turkish. And we got some other books in Danish, Czech, and then French and Japanese. Those are the two that I think are next in line right now, but then there will be more even after that. I know a lot of you want to hear or read in Portuguese, but I appreciate you, man. Yeah, the Tank series. We still kind of call these the Tanks, kind of, but I know what you mean. Yeah, the Tanks. And so I appreciate you, man. It's been a while. Hopefully you've been doing great. So that's from the Twitch chat. I know we got a lot of people on YouTube as well, and then on the Instagrams. Okay, let me see what we got cooking in all those places. Give me a second. Alright, shout out to everybody on YouTube. So today, first I'll explain what we're doing. Let me just see. Well, no, I'll explain what we're doing. You guys can keep adding questions, dropping those in. But there is a playlist on the channel. The playlist has everything we've been doing so far. It has all the live streams to date and kind of explaining what we've been doing. And the stream, in a nutshell, is essentially a series of videos that's just fully documenting every aspect of the process, from even coming up with the idea or choosing what to do, like every single thing. The only thing we knew starting this series was, okay, I wanted to do something in the realm of spaghetti westerns and cowboy stuff. and that it will be like a shonen in that way, and that if there was a power system, it'll be called like the chakra or the energy will be called grit. That was it. Every other facet of the creation, down to what's going to happen in the story, who the characters are, who's going to be the main character, the gender of the main character, how many characters are we going to have, what takes place, what era, is it going to be a realistic type of series or we're going to take some liberties. Every single facet of it was put together live on stream. So there's a playlist that has all the live streams to date. And so far, we have a draft for a synopsis, and I'll show that in a little bit. In fact, I can show that now. Hold on. So we have a Google document that has everything down for concepts, chapter goals, little things I look for, some of the influences. Everything here that we that's written down was written during the stream as well. The research that we did, because I was not too familiar with spaghetti westerns or that era of the wild, wild west. Everything you see, everything you could think of was done on stream. Little notes for things to keep in mind, some dialogue ideas that I'll keep adding to. So this is a document that I'll keep adding to that will be available for members on the channel, Patreon supporters, patrons, and stuff like that. The fight mechanics was like, how's that going to be put together, right? Because I don't want it to just be, which is something we also talked about, I don't want it to just be, just shooting and that's it. Like, you can shoot a Kamehameha. Why not? We can go crazy with it while having some realistic roots, if that makes sense. So there is going to be some historical accuracy to it, but obviously the main story is going to take liberties, right? I always give the example of like One Piece, how One Piece has Teach in it, Blackbeard, and Blackbeard is a popular figure in the world of pirates and all of that. But obviously One Piece has taken its own liberties a lot, and One Piece probably takes a lot more liberties, and so we're kind of going to be like that, but maybe sticking with the history a little closer. So you see more figures like that, like Billy the Kid and shit, and that kind of stuff. But we're making a one-shot. We're not making a full-on series. Especially we're doing it up until the storyboards are ready, and then we'll see what we do from there. Like I'm considering, seeing if I can figure out a way to have a discussion, like the type of discussion you would have with an editor, right? And that would be here on stream live, and we'll just kind of discuss it. Or the editor will be you guys, or it'll be several editors, so you see how several different editors think, and see where things align, and maybe get some criticism to see what we can fix if sometimes they might be right. That kind of stuff. Every facet was going to be in here, and so this document has all of it. The illustrations we do will also be available for members. The members and the patrons will have their perks, but obviously there'll be some stuff that I would just share with you guys, just having fun with you guys in the kitchen as I cook. You right? And we got some ideas for character names, the power system that will have its stream, the world building, all of that. And this is like a rough, and I mean rough, if you pause this and try to read, none of this is going to make sense. Typo galore. It's not going to make sense, right? Especially if you weren't on the stream when we put it together. But we kind of have like an Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. In that stream, we also talked about a 4-act structure as well. Was it the Kisho Tenketsu, something like that? And kind of explained my thoughts on that as well. The pitch, synopsis, right now we have like One Piece meets The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But that's like an elevator mashup pitch where you're taking two popular themes or series, trying to mashing it up to kind of give a listener the idea of what they're stepping into. How the world building and the power system, how that's gonna work, and how that came to be in this setting. All of that we discussed, and then we discussed like versions of a synopsis that we put together. And y'all were there as we're trying to cook, and everything here is still a draft, and we're gonna have to sort all of this out before we get to like scripts and storyboards. So if you guys want to be part of this live stream series, right? Make sure you're tuned in. I will try to be streaming Mondays to Wednesdays, right? So this will pick back up on next Monday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Unless something changes, right? There'll be moments where I will just let you guys know. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you're joining in, please like the video. Last stream, I appreciate you guys. We got the likes during the stream to like 300. Let's see if we can hit 400 today. We'll see. But in the last stream was the first time we actually drew anything, and we did a character design. The first character design for the MCs, which we decided would be like a 2 MC type thing, almost like a Don type situation. And let me see if I can bring that up. And this is what we came up with. This is what we came up with in this stream. So we kind of partially designed the one of the MCs, but this is just a draft. I still think there's room for maybe a few changes, or at least there's a bunch of drafts and a bunch of iterations. Right? We started with what you see on the left, and then we just kept tweaking it. The problem with this one was like it had too many similarities with what's his name? Something the Kid from Philly the Kid from Cannon Busters. But the Kid thing is not, it's more from Billy the Kid, right? That's why you have Death the Kid. It's like guns, and so it's a common thing kind of. But it was too similar to Philly just because of the powers I was thinking about giving the character as well. There was some tattoo stuff. In our case, it would be like war paint stuff, and it was too similar with the afro and just the way set up, right? It was a little too similar, and so we kept tweaking things, and we even that's how we before it was even like really tattoos. We were gonna call the tattoos war paint, but now it's just war paint, and it's gonna obviously operate differently. And then you have the idea of the shoes. I wanted to show some kind of, that the character is a little bit wayward and unorganized in certain ways, and that's why I did the shoe thing there. But then we reduced the size because I didn't like the size of the shoe right there, and we just kept tweaking it. Definitely with the hair, I had some issues. We also considered names for the character, and based off of what we decided, at least I decided would be the backstory and all of that. You guys get to see how my brain kind of works, and everything is still subject to change. But there's some things I think that are more set in stone than others, like the character's name, Amechi the Kid, and that's named after a family member that actually, unfortunately, RIP, just recently passed away. So I kind of feel, that'll be a way for me, at least in my arts, to remember them. But the design continues to tweak, with the vest as well. The bandana, how the bandana will be put together. I decided to go with the thing at the back. It reminds me of a Digimon character. I don't know if you guys remember the Digimon character, but it was like a little short, tiny, almost looked like Sonic the Hedgehog, but then it had a bandana kind of. And I wanted the bandana to also add to the silhouette of the character, making it a little bit more memorable. The hair I like now. I'm still thinking, again, nothing is set in stone. Something might change again. We'll see. But then the vest we got from a character from like Westworld, Hector. I think Hector Escalante or something like that. But that's from Westworld season 1. But I liked the vest, and so it was a better idea for the vest that we had before. So based off of the other spaghetti western and just western shows, cowboy shows that we're getting an influence from, we're getting some attire, world building, culture, all of that put into it, and then historical accuracy. We've watched there was a live stream about research, and that research episode was very, very informational. It kind of helped me put things into place. Also let me know a little bit more about some historical figures that could kind of be reimagined in the series if it becomes a full-fledged thing. Because again, as a one-shot, even though we're building the world and the power system, it doesn't mean we'll actually use all of it or show all of it, but we'll show glimpses and have fun with that. So these are some of the designs. Some of you guys were able to give suggestions for certain things, like the you see the things in the, what's it called, like a what's the I'll be forgetting names sometimes, but like the handles or pouches for the guns, having it on both forearms and doing all kinds of wild stuff. Y'all had suggestions that we played around with. So we try to have fun with the streams. You don't have to be someone who wants to make comics. We can just be someone who likes to see how the sausage is made, how the pizza is made on stream, and then we'll kind of go from there. But some color suggestions, which we're still open to, because again, these are drafts, nothing's set in stone. I play with a bigger bandana and how that would look. And so with the colors as well, right? It's kind of reimagining this series, like I've said before, was kind of reimagining cowboys the same way One Piece does for pirates, Bleach does for Soul Reaper, Shinigami, Death God, Death Note kind of does its own thing as well. Naruto does for ninjas, and ninjas usually darken in the shadows, but the main character is like a giant orange jumpsuit. I don't want to go that far, but I want to be somewhere in that realm and doing my own thing. And so with this last draft is the best one so far. I wasn't sure about the red pants at first, but I think the red pants, especially if you dull the color a little bit so it's not too saturated, and it's also fits that dirty, grungy Western stuff, but I still want to make that world colorful a little bit. And I think we can really have fun in reimagining the cowboy in this series. So right now, that's the best thing we got so far. We're playing with some ideas of the war paint, which again, the series, I don't think it'll start with with him as a grit user. Again, we're going to grit war paint. We'll figure it out. We'll have a stream for the power system, so you guys haven't missed too much, right? And you can always go back and watch the VODs and on the live stream playlist if you miss things out. So we're still playing around with the design and how that's going to look and some cool stuff here and there. And so far this is design, but we talked about potentially having 2 MCs, and I think right now it is 2 MCs. And the previous stream kind of breaks down a little bit further about how that's going to work, what the dynamics is going to be like. Again, we're still working it, so again, you guys haven't missed too much, and nothing is set in stone until publication. So this is one MC, this is one draft, right? We'll come back to it, but we're designing the characters just enough to have like this foundation, and then we keep building. We'll do the same thing for especially the stream for like the world and stuff like that. We'll touch on that a little bit. It's not going to be as difficult because this existed. I can just look at historical backgrounds and buildings and saloons and bars and all of that. And trains, because there's a train involved that I've decided. But I want to also take some liberties in those designs, especially with the train, just to set this apart. Okay, this is like mythical, supernatural, wild west of that era of America specifically. And I think I'm having fun with it. But again, Apple Black still continues. Shout out to everybody who supported Apple Black. This one is just another way for us to have fun on the channel. You guys can come, be in the kitchen, cook, maybe throw some ingredients my way, throw some sauce, and we can test it out. More perks to those who are members on the channel. Shout out to those who have joined membership, and shout out to those who support through Patreon as well. You don't have to do both. One is fine. You don't have to do any if you don't want to, by the way. And so we're just having fun on the streams, doing video. A lot of you guys found me through video, and this is just a way to continue that, right? And so these are some designs that we've cooked. This is the first stuff we've drawn so far. I'm much happier with the hair here than how we started, but it might still change. I don't know yet. But it's good to have this foundation and you keep building, right? That's kind of how we're doing. We're kind of getting the story, the world building, the acts, the fighting system, world, all of that, just developing everything together, some more than others where necessary, until we're ready to then go on to the script and then storyboards. And even then, things might still change. They all kind of influence one another up until we're ready to start drawing. And once we do the storyboards, like I said, we won't just jump into pages. We'll jump into more of like a editorial mode and have a bunch of discussions about it. to make sure we're on we're on the right track, right? So now I want to design the next character. The next MC, like a 2 MC thing. Say subscribe tier. Same thing. Perks for people on Twitch as well. But I appreciate the subscription. What was this? You Sly Dog, you. Appreciate that. I appreciate the subscription on Twitch. That goes a long way as well. Any support is greatly appreciated. Whether you buy the books, watch the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave comments, ask questions, engage, buy the books, channel membership. There's so many ways, and you just, you do whatever works best for you. Let me see. Let's see how this is set. You do whatever works best for you. So before we go into it, yeah, last stream was fire. Appreciate you. Hopefully the streams are enjoyable. You guys can also leave suggestions of stuff that can take place in the stream in the comments, and we'll just kind of build from there. I want to build a community of its own. Like, I just realized today that I don't think there's nothing like this online. This is one of a kind. Like the video, this is one of a kind. It would be, especially if it goes on to have publications, and you guys will be able to see the whole documentation from start to finish about the options that I will have if I do end up publishing it, and how I'll go about that if it gets to it. And you're in real time also seeing me build a community specifically for it. Like, the series doesn't even have a title just yet. There is a draft title called Heartbreak the Kid, but I don't know, there's something about it that it's missing. And so you'll see me figure all of that out. And I think there's nothing like this. There's no series that's thought out from scratch. Now, obviously not from complete scratch, because we came in thinking, okay, we're going to do this Cowboy series and maybe we'll call something Grit or whatever. But for the most part, all from scratch. And so I'm happy you guys are enjoying it. It'll be one of a kind, the first of its kind, and it'll be a shonen manga made from stream. Again, we'll see how it cook, and we'll try and have fun with it. Again, thank you guys for showing up to the stream. We got 130 people. Maybe we can even shoot up to 200 concurrent viewers or something like that. But again, make sure you're liking the videos. Like the videos, like the videos, like the video. And, go watch the past streams as well. Let's build this whole thing. And I don't know how many videos it's going to be. I don't know how long the streams are going to last until it's the one shot is ready. Probably be about 70 pages. But even drawing the manga pages, every time we draw a manga page, we'll probably be on stream. So now that I'm thinking about it, this will probably last for at least a couple months. So this is the year we do something that doesn't exist anywhere. And, maybe some people will follow suit and try to do it. But for now, we will cook. And I try to stream a little sooner this time so more people can make it to the stream. So please like the videos as best as you can. And this is also a Q&A, so you guys can let me know your thoughts. Just give me a second. I will be back. In a jiffy. Okay?
Like the call to leave behind the everyday world, the common, ordinary world of family and social reality, and go in quest of something, not even quite sure what it is, but somehow motivated. This whole question of what starts somebody off, on the transformation quest, the process is a very interesting one.
Okay. Alright, we're back. We are back. See what we got here. See what any questions before we start drawing. You could call it love shooter. No. Just cause I don't think it. Love shooter. And you guys can leave comments on what you would call your own spaghetti western shonen manga, but love shooter is not necessarily. It doesn't really capture. I think the essence and principles and morals that we talked about. I understand why you would say it, but it's not even about when you title something love shooter, people might even expect a romance, and it's not going to touch too much romantic mumbo whatever. Rocky 56, I was here last one. I suggest those weird guns on the forearms. Yep, that was you. He actually did it, and he was like, "What the? Oh yeah, the guns." Made it to class during the break. Yeah, you snuck in here, right? We called attendance. You already missed attendance, okay? Like the video, we've already hit 100. Let's see if we can hit 200. Shout out to y'all. It's been like, what, 30 minutes? Has it been 30 minutes? How long we've been streaming? Yeah, 30 minutes. Shout out to y'all. Y'all have not missed much. But yeah, there's going to be more character designs. I'm going to do the second character, and we're going to explore that. Excuse me. No pineapple on pizza over here. Sorry, sir. No grits either. None of that. We don't do that here. Call it the Bounty War. This doesn't really fit. Who else got snow outside? Bass Reeves would be a cool character to use as a teacher or principal for the school. And I am doing that. I'm actually doing that. Bass Reeves, or at least a version of Bass Reeves, is going to be in it. I was thinking about that, looking at it, especially being one of the most popular black cowboy type figures, outlaw or lawman. That'll be interesting to incorporate. So I've been thinking about all these characters, Billy the Kid, all of that. But again, not everybody can fit the one shot. And so, while we're doing stuff and writing stuff down, like you saw in the document, just because we write it down doesn't mean we're going to do it, or at least maybe it's worth doing, but not worth doing in the one shot. So we're still figuring stuff out. You already have a great name, Warpaint. Warpaint is not enough. I don't think it's enough. Especially because the story is not too much. It's an option. Let me put it like that. Warpaint something is an option. Like something warpaint something is an option. Last Rodeo, West Hound, call it Dead or Dead. It's funny. We used to have a comic manga, whatever you want to call it, in Saturday AM. Was called Wanted. I think it's Wanted Dead or Dead. Wanted Dead or Dead. So that was interesting. So we did. Now that I forgot about that. So we did have somewhat of a Western back in the day in Saturday AM. So that's interesting. When I was 13, I bought OG Apple Black. I appreciate you, man. All the support, Miri, is greatly appreciated. All the OG supporters. I sign any book that you guys buy anytime. You know what I mean? I appreciate it. Wherever I meet you guys at cons or whatever the case might be. But the OG supporters, y'all get to sign, and then maybe you might get some extra art. Just to set y'all apart, right? Or if you bought all the new versions of the books, then maybe you're not OG, but like you'll get a little extra art on the signature, at least on one of the books. But yeah, JoJo Part 7. Yes, we made a list of stuff that could influence what we're doing. and that JoJo did make the list. But honestly, I haven't watched any JoJo, so a lot of this I have some streams where I'm like doing the research, and so I'm thinking of like when it comes to manga with that spaghetti western touch to them, I might have a stream that kind of just shows us doing some research on that. At least me. Some of you guys might be familiar with it, but I am not. I have not seen a lick of JoJo except for some of the memes and maybe like the first 5 episodes of like episode 1 of any of it. Okay, so I think we've knocked on everything. We've touched on everything here. Western Punk. I feel like is that a series? I feel like there's a series called Western Punk, something like that. You bought Volume 1, but your dog chewed it up. Come on, man. Hey, if it's all good, sorry about that, but if it's all good, you can just continue Volume 2, 3, and it goes on. But I appreciate you getting the book. Sorry about your dog jacking it up though. Branded Glory. Some of these names, as name suggestions, they sound cool. They do sound cool. And I just realized I wasn't actually live on Instagram, so good that I caught that, so we can actually get that on their way. So yeah, for those on Instagram, you've missed a lot of mumbo jumbo that I've said, but it will be on YouTube. You can rewind to see the last 30 minutes of the stream where we were cooking, but now we're going to jump into it to the other character whose name is actually, kind of in the air. The name of the character is still low-key in the air right now in the draft. Let's go to the draft, the Google Doc that has everything. Right now, in that, her name is Lucille Argent, but that's just a placeholder. A lot of these names, except for Amechi the Kid, they're placeholders. They are just placeholders because now that once we were able to write down like the basic idea of what we're going to do with the story, and once we're able to write down a synopsis, it became clearer to me what characters were important enough to develop and maybe design in front of you guys, because I'm not going to design every single person, but it was important to kind of know enough to get to that point. And so I know she's definitely one. Lucille is that's just a placeholder. The name, every name here is still subject to change, especially the Sarah Stampede Thomas. The Stampede part, I was just like, that's too much like Vash. And again, these are based off of what we've already written. So again, everything has been documented for the most part in the past live streams. Every live stream will just be longer than it needs to if we always rehash what we've already done in the previous streams. Hopefully that makes sense. You guys can leave super chats on whatever suggestions you have and why. But let's treat the super chats as like editorial comments from you guys. And if anybody wants to have some editorial comments, then we'll discuss each one. Let's think of it like that, right? You guys are kind of like editors, kind of. So for the next character, let me see here. Let's put all this in a... Actually, let's just rename it, and I still don't know what to call. I said Lucille, right? Again, it's a subject to change, so we'll change the name whenever we change the name. Let's say Lucille for now, just to save it. And then we can then open it on a separate file. We'll go back to Lucille. Just delete all of this. Right? And now, so we talked about for the last design, we talked about shape language and the silhouette test and color, and so that will come into play here because most of Amichi's design is red. I like most of it is red. I would want her own color to be something else, and something that's predominantly that isn't red. So it could be green, it could be or greenish. It doesn't have to be exactly on the spot saturated green, but greenish, teal. It could be yellow. It could be whatever, right? But a lot of times, the colors have some kind of there are colors that have their own things that they represent or symbolize, and you could use a chart, and I could use a chart and like look at what it means, but I want to visually feel it first, and then we can just to get the first draft, and then we can kind of play with things later. That's currently the plan. So just like with this one, I want to make sure it has a strong silhouette. Good shape language stuff going on. And we'll deal with color later, but we're just kind of feeling out the color for the most part. And so with her, remember, it's like triangles is for the dangerous characters. A square is more of like, okay, they have their stuff together, and a circle is more of like, okay, they're endearing, soft, and all of that. And I think we'll be going in this order. With Amici, we went in this order. As you can see, where this one, you could say, would take 60 to 70%, and then the rest gets split between the other two, just to show what the focal is. And I think here, I'm actually going to maybe she's like, because you want there to be a focal point. If everything was split evenly, it'll be hard to read who they are. I gave an example of Batman and all the sharp edges that Batman has. Those are all triangles in a way, right? Or you look at Bakugo, the triangle-ish hair. It shows like he's the edgy one. I give the best examples I could think of. If you look at Ida, Bakugo, and Deku from My Hero, Deku has the circular eyes because he's softer, is crying every 2 seconds, right? The Ida has the square because he's like the class leader and all of that, so he's the reliable type figure. Bakugo has like sharp eyes and like triangular eyes because it's like sharp edges. You're dangerous, you're sly, you're cunning, and he's just a dangerous, wild person. And so you kind of have to think of it that way. And I think for her, I'm thinking square. Meaning, if I do say I give her glasses, I would want the shape of the glasses to be a square off rip. I saw another image. Sometimes you don't have to follow this to a T, but it's a good foundation, a good thing to understand. I saw like a design for Dr. Octopus in the Spider-Verse movie, and if you are to count the edges of her face, you'll realize it has 8 sides. Octo, 8. So you can be stylistic with it if you want, right? But it's good to have this foundation to start out. And so for her, just knowing her character, honestly, not knowing her character, because we don't know, we're figuring all this out. I would want something different from this. So off rip, I don't want a triangle at the top, just to show that the difference in them in their character. But I also want something where they would clash. Like it would make sense for them to clash. And so when it's dangerous, somebody reliable would clash in that way. And then I don't think she's like soft and bubbly either. So I would go square, triangle, circle. And maybe another character later can be, the more bubbly one. And then, so she'll be predominantly this. right? I want her to be that leader type figure, especially knowing what we decided like her goals would be. Maybe she wants to eventually be sheriff of the town and things like that, and you know, facing all the obstacles that it comes with. But her having feeling the need to be perfect, especially given that she's a girl, and there's probably never been a girl sheriff up to this point. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. We're figuring this stuff out. But I like the square first, and then triangle because she's still a threat. I want her to still kind of be a threat, and a circle. Then we talked about, you know, do we have like a school for cowboys? Similar, very popular thing the Shonen series does, and we also kind of shied away from it because it might be a little too cliche, or unless you're doing it in such a way where the execution is perfection. But I did some research, and there wasn't a school like that to become a cowboy. I think whether you became a lawman or an outlaw was more about how dangerous you were, how respected you were in the community, basically your status in the community, and your ability to settle disputes and threats and things like that. That's how they picked it, right? And that's a lot of people were self-taught. There wasn't like a school for all this stuff per se. So, but maybe there was, but it wasn't like a school for this is how you become a lawman, or definitely this is how you become an outlaw. But I do think I can still do something like a schoolhouse, because schools did exist still. And then there will be maybe some for specialties, but again, it's not something or a part of the world building that has to be so developed right now, because we're not going to touch it that much in the one shot, at least not that much, right? But I do want a tiny bit of the element. At least I think it'll make sense. We'll figure it out, especially once we start to iron out what the story is exactly. We know kind of, but like to a T, in like dialogue and narration. But she will be dangerous because she would have probably acquired some skills. How she's gotten the skills, maybe it's from the schoolhouses or camps or boot camps, whatever. We can talk about that. Or trained by her daddy. We'll figure that out. But I do want her to be dangerous, so that will come over the circular stuff. So you can think of it that maybe she is maybe 60 that, 30 that, 10. No, maybe 20 and 30 and then 50. And dangerous doesn't always mean like they're that skilled and they're that powerful. I just mean like from a behavior way, right? So just because it's 30 on the triangle doesn't mean she's not stronger than him, for example. So this is what I'm going for. And then for the design, you can have like a... Again, the character age, I was thinking below 18, above 15, right? And so you can have... Let me make sure you guys can actually see. We don't want a situation where it's blocked, kind of like the previous streams. And it was blocked. It was blocked. I knew it. I knew it. Hold on, let me change this. My bad. I promise I'm not doing it on purpose. You know, maybe as time goes on, we'll keep building and we'll have like a mod or something to prevent that from happening. I will figure that out as we keep going. But you haven't missed much, especially if you were listening. The point is, I was thinking 50, 30, 20, and just because I say triangle is just because I said triangle is 30 does not mean she's weaker than him, or for instance. And for him, if I were to give it a number, I would, just based off of the design, right? You can see an example. You can see some of the triangle right here. triangle right there, triangle, triangle, kind of. A little bit of that. You see some circle, you see a little square even blocked by the shirt, right? But, and you see some more circles, you see some more squares. Now, even though it's like triangle at the top, at the highest, but you still see the way I wanted to even do the hair. It's a little bit triangles, 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 triangles. That's why this wasn't an option. It was just round. I was like, no. You know? And obviously you have little tiny circles here, tiny circles here. You got more squares, whatever. Really, this is just one square. And it does take a chunk of it, right? But it's the triangle, especially when you're looking at the portrait of the character, which I think is most of the focus. I'm thinking it's kind of evened out, maybe even, yeah, it's kind of evened out too. And this is maybe 20, and this is 30. There's not a perfect science to it, but this is stuff you think about when putting the character together. And that's why I said these are drafts, right? So we can still make changes as time goes on. Because maybe he, because he is a square is for like reliability and stuff like that. He is reliable. And you know, you got a little triangle here as well. So with her, similar deal. I just, thank goodness I came back to, before I designed anything, that that I checked. Right. Off rip with him, and this is not something we discussed. I guess this is something that I just did without thinking too much. Was, you know, he's a fit character, decent height. I think I wanted I wanted a typical hero, attractive look, I guess, and that's what I'm going with her as well. It would be different if we tried, you know, a very different body type. So I guess that's worth still thinking about, but it might change some of the stuff that we've already thought about when we're coming up with the story. Like visually, when I'm just visualizing the story off rip, that wasn't what I was thinking about, but it's good to kind of expand your mind and think in that direction a little bit. You know, what if the character was ridiculously tall, but then it would be something you'd mention in the series, right? It would impact the series in some kind of way, which would in turn make it a little bit more authentic. So I'm still thinking about that stuff. All this stuff are drafts. I could make her, you know, bigger. I could make her ugly. I don't know. But especially with what we see typically with main characters in the shonen world, they tend not to do that. And there's reason for that probably. But we could do it. We could do it. Like One Punch Man being bald. It impacted the story in some kind of way, right? So we could do stuff like that. Let me see what y'all are saying. Oh yeah. Yep. I messed up. My bad. I blocked it again. My bad. My bad. Valentine is a good name. Oh, dang. So it was blocked for... How long was it blocked for? Like 5 minutes? 10 minutes? Cassidy is a good name. I like Cassidy. Cassidy is a good name. Well, no, well... Isn't there somebody called Butch Cassidy? There's a person called Butch Cassidy. Y'all like the videos? Actually, give me a second. Let me do something real quick. I gotta do something real quick. I'm kind of doing a lot of things at the same time, but when I come back, we're gonna continue with designing her and making sure that's on point. But I will be back in a second. Ugh. All right. All right. All right. So yeah, let me see here. Yeah, Apple Black continues. Apple Black's not going anywhere. I explained that. You can rewind the VOD where we talked about that, but maybe one day I'll come back to these videos and I'll timestamp things, but that will be difficult. Not gonna lie. But yeah, with the Cassidy thing, I'm pretty sure there's a character called Butch Cassidy, and maybe I might call her that, but I'm not sure. Just because of that, I like the name, but I'm realizing I'm liking the name because there was an actual figure called something Cassidy, and I don't know if that would eventually be a figure in the series or whatever. But I do like the name Cassidy because it can be shortened for Cassandra. Cassandra's not bad. Cassandra's not bad. But yeah, I was also thinking, because of his stuff is a nickname, she's also an MC. Maybe she does get a nickname at the end. So it's like, maybe she gets a nickname at the end because of the events that take place. I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out, especially when we get back to the story stuff. We'll figure it out. One of the stuff we talked about, though, is maybe she'd be influenced by Annie Oakley, who was like a sharpshooter. So I also want her gun to probably be bigger than his, like is the type that can get somebody long range. So I'm already thinking weapon wise, that's what she's gonna have. So she's like a sharpshooter to some degree. Girl, that's Billy. She could be related to Butch. That is an idea. She could be related to Butch Cassidy. Let me see. Hold on. What does he look like? Butch Cassidy. Butch boy. She could be related to him, but then that's his last name, right? So his last name is the Cassidy. So her name can't be Cassidy because it's the last name, right? So if she's related to him, then her last name is Cassidy, which also not against. But if she's going to be black, which is what we've already discussed, and if I check Butch right now, just searching Butch Cassidy, yeah, no. Butch Cassidy, American criminal. Real name is Robert Leroy Parker, better known as Butch Cassidy, was an American train and bank robber and the leader of a gang of criminal outlaws known as the Wild Bunch. No. Now, if I did a series, let's say beyond this one shot, and there was like a gang, the Wild Bunch, I'll do it. Why not? He could be like the Pain or the freaking, I don't know. He could be something, the Phantom Troop of it. If I did that though, the Wild Bunch, Butch Cassidy. So Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. There was a movie about that, and we actually wrote. That's how I remember the name, because there's a movie, and that movie was one of the movies that I was gonna check out. So yeah, that's why I know Butch Cassidy. And then related to her is it could work. So I'm not poo pooing the idea. And she won't be a fan of him because she's more of like a lawman. Remember, she's more of a square, and so she's more of like the reliable type. She wants to be a lawman, potentially the sheriff. She can't look up to Butch Cassidy. It makes more sense for the other character to look up to Butch Cassidy. So when it comes to the names that we discussed of potential people that could be figures in the series, we also wrote a list. We made a list of those as well. And where's this? Like here, you got Whyt Earp, Bass Reeves, Buffalo Bill, Annie Oakley, who I want the character to actually look up to Annie Oakley, and not just Annie Oakley, but Annie Oakley to be one of them. All right, because Annie Oakley is one of the few female cowboy, cowgirl, that whole cowboy, cowgirl, whatever. There's even a joke in there that could be inserted into the series because it's like, it could be one of the things to look down on her because it's like, cowboy, you don't belong here type stuff. Anyways, I also don't want that to be her whole character, right? I want it to be beyond just that, but that will be an aspect of it. And so Annie Oakley, Billy the Kid, Butch Cassidy, Jesse Jane, Will Rogers, Gene Autry, John Wayne, Daryl Winfield, John Wesley Harvey, William H. Bonney, Henry McCarthy, Alias the Kid, more the kids, because apparently there were even multiple Billy the Kids. Frank James, Doc Holliday. Even on that, the whole idea of multiple Billy the Kids, if I did the series full time, right, and there was a Billy the Kid, I could make him, not saying I'll do it, but I could make him like, maybe part of his war paint allows him to multiply himself or something like that. That would be funny. But which would kind of explain why people saw multiple Billy the Kid, or there were multiple Billy. I don't know. We'll see. Alias the Kid, Frank James, Doc Holliday, Old Dan Tucker, Pat Garrett, Wild Bill Hickok, or Hickok. I think it's Hickok. I might have spelled that wrong. Ford Brothers, Bloody Bill Anderson, James W. Marshall, Bat Masterson, John Wesley Harding, who killed Selman? Who's Selman? I wrote Selman. I don't know. I have the list here. I'm figuring it out. There's like Calamity Jane, Pearl Bandit Queen, Hart, Belle Star, Annie Oakley, which I mentioned already, Big Nose Kate, Stagecoach Mary, and a bunch of others, right? So I'm doing some work from the research standpoint so that the series feels rich and not just, cowboy, whatever. So we're still playing with it, and that's why we're still toying around with, what to call her. And look, I'm remembering to turn it off. I turned it off. And it takes some getting used to. But now, back to the character. It's why everybody's here. I don't know what to design. I think I would need to know the gun type, right? So it's like the barrels. So actually, hold on. Part of the design, because I want to see how they hold it too. So if we go to Pinterest, we got this is where we're looking up some war paint stuff. If we come here and we go long range gun Wild West. Hold on. Cowboy. Like I also want them holding it. Dang it. On an example, you want things to be authentic. Like how was it held exactly? I could freestyle it, obviously. But at the same time, you got one here. Red Dead Redemption, probably. Which sure, but I'll wing it. I just need the gun then. I just need the gun. Which, you know, her gun could be special to her, right? Because it's like, how does a girl get that kind of gun to begin with? So maybe that could be passed on to her somehow through her history and where she's from and da 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 whatever. Maybe her daddy was part of the Civil War or something. So this is post Civil War, so no slaves, but obviously there's still beef, if you know what I'm saying. Um, got some nice options here. Yeah, cause it's like they had the gun, you shoot, and then they go, you know, give me a bit. So I actually like that one, but I'll take some liberties. The guns don't have to look exactly, they don't have to look like this exactly. I take some liberties. Make it me, make it my own. So we're gonna turn that off. Yeah. So yeah, for this one, just because of the gun is a thing here. And I think another thing is the cool thing about some of the designs, like we're showing I know we want the characters to kind of conflict with one another. Their design could also do that. Hold on. So the design can also do that, and so the way him with his sleeves kind of up, maybe hers, she could be the one that's kind of like buttoned up. The gun design, we can design the gun separately. So I'm just getting the vibe right now. And then you have the thing right here. Let me look at the gun again real quick. So there's that, and yeah, so you can take that. Bring it up. Yeah. The gun can have some of those square elements. Again, keeping all that in mind. Or it can have the gun is dangerous, so it can have, you should also have some of the triangular elements too. The head was a little too big. The hairstyle has to be figured out. We toyed around with the poncho idea last stream, and I'm thinking she could have that. Can't she? Just make sure you guys can see. You can. You can. So I could do something. Where let's see what comes up when we say like the stream. Let's hit 200. Let's see if we can hit 200. But let's see if we can do something where this is Ocelot. Yeah, you got some, but this is not the vibes I'm going for. I don't want it to look too similar to the other character. Got some poncho stuff, like I said, it could be a poncho, but let's keep going. If I said, don't show me no nasty now. This is Pinterest. So off rip, not doing a scarf. Just off principle alone, not doing the scarf. We could, give one of them a cowboy hat. I can see that. I can see a cowboy hat. That's doable. Look at this. This is probably AI. Is this AI? Give it some AI vibes. But yeah, let's see what we could do here. So let's incorporate some of the round in here, right? To make that silhouette pop as well. Maybe it's her daddy's hat. I don't know. And then some of her, maybe she has a ponytail thing going on, like two pigtails. Is that what they're called? Pigtails? And then you have little circles. You don't want to draw too many. I always do this where it's like sometimes very in the early days I'll draw like so many of the braids that when I have to draw the character again, I have to go back and count to be consistent because my brain works like that. So sometimes now I'll purposely give like, okay, 3 or 5. So that way I don't have to count ever again. I know what it is. I'm thinking on that level. So usually like 3, 5, or 7. But for this, I'll go 3. Let's keep it simple. Rules of threes. And so rules of threes right there. The hair can then be like this, which is kind of like showing some of that triangle. We don't want to get too detailed, remember, for obvious reasons. And I think you can do, unlike this, I think we can do bigger cowboy boots now. Right? Could it be bigger? Like, we'll have different versions. Mm. Um. Hmm. So the cowboy hat, I'm feeling. I thought maybe it could give a poncho, but then the poncho, like the hands, where'd that come from? Let me. And y'all can see, right? So. So this definitely it's too much. She even looks like a villain. So let's go back. It's not bad. Gloves. Gloves. Gloves are an option. Gloves are an option. If you come back here. Something like that, and hold on. You guys can be letting me know your thoughts. I'll check occasionally. What about that? Huh? We talked about potentially, maybe even creating an art book at some point that could just have all this stuff. Where necessary, where applicable. Be nice to have. What if actually kept it simple? And this one was because what will happen is when I do stuff like this, right? I'm also kind of seeing, okay, I might like elements of one approach and then take those elements and put it in the other. And I'm just experimenting with the hats now. Maybe the hat when everything is even lower. What are you guys thinking? You guys let me know in the chat. Again, you know, we're still figuring stuff out. Figuring stuff out. Gun holsters on the belt buckle would go hard. A swamp or forest green, maybe. Hat's too big in my opinion. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. So I kind of reduced it a little bit. Right? Because I'm also thinking about the practicality of it. You know, the character doing all kinds of stuff. And, you know, the hat's in the way. You don't want that. Again, please, if you're joining, don't forget to like the video. Maybe YouTube will push it out more. We're trying to build a community out here for these streams. So if you guys are enjoying the streams, this will continue, obviously. Also, if you're enjoying the shorts. Short hat. Have a cute bag of some sorts. Add a dress. Gun holster. Let's just scrap that. You know, still figuring stuff out. I see y'all saying on Instagram, not much. On Twitch. Yeah, it's acting slow, so I can't really see what you guys are saying just yet, but we'll keep working. I'm thinking of like a poncho. It could be one of them could be, you know, the dress thing we talked about, right? Because I see one right here, and it could be something where it's like, okay. Yeah, you know who? You know who? Dolores. Yeah. So that's an option. And the dress goes high up. But then you have the holster and stuff. You know how I kind of see these mentally in my head? I'm like, you know how the Naruto ninjas, they always had like little pouches? For the cowboys, that's what this is. And then it could go there. You know, she might even have some, maybe that's where she stores some bullet stuff. right? Um, yeah. Right, and then maybe the pouch thing. Is designed like so. You got so maybe circles and stuff. Well, yeah, this is perfect for circles. It could be one big one. And then a holster. That was the word I was looking for. But do I want her to have 2 guns? 2? Just draft for now. Let's just roll with it for now. You have that. Then put some bullets. That could work. Just so we can see what's behind her hand, because her hand is blocking it. I like the sleeves. I don't want that to go away. What's the best hat? The last hat? I'm thinking I'm leaning towards that right now. If you had see here. And then maybe a belt as well, but like a tiny belt. And unlike him, where it's like a lot of the belts is to the sides, selling that waywardness. She's a square, so it's like it's right there in the middle. Right? If it's here, same thing. I have some of that. Yeah, I don't want to shoot again. I don't want. These are young characters with the lack experience. I don't want their character design to show too much experience, if that makes sense. Because I was thinking maybe the boots could even be doing some extra stuff and all that yada yada yada. But I think I want the design to be somewhat simplified. Nothing crazy. And that's like the shaft of the boot. We could do another thing here and da 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 for the cowboy boots, but I already did one of that here. I don't want to do it again. She could have some thing at the back, but I think also too much, and so I don't want to do it again. There is a potential for, let me see. We'll figure out her face later, but yeah, this is, it's a little bit more difficult, just a little bit. Not difficult in a bad way, it's just tougher to choose what to do. Because you got options. You got options. Let me see here. It would be too much if she had a handheld knife in case the gun doesn't work. Well, she could have like maybe the pouch. The pouch can have like a knife thing. Again, I'm also thinking it's one of those things where if I want to be very thorough, like if I draw a knife in her pouch in her design, I'll like for it to kind of be used, right? So when we're done writing the script, and I know of what she does, right? I might write something and have her do something with a weapon that I haven't designed. So as a result, if I'm thinking, okay, she should have that, then I'll kind of try and write that in a creative way, make sure it doesn't feel shoehorned, like it actually fits. And if then her design requires it, then I go back and change the design for it to make sense. Or so in some cases, it doesn't always have to be her knife. It could be somebody else's knife that she acquires during the scuffle. Maybe the person she's scuffling with has knives, and then I use knives from that person. So I don't want the characters to be too decked out if they don't need to be decked out, right? I don't want... You remember those comic books where it's like the main character, one of the characters, like a Cable or whatever, had like a bunch of pouches and all this stuff, but he never really used any of it? They're just there for show. I want to keep the show or there for show to a minimum. You know, we want that to a minimum, okay? You feel me? Let me see what you guys are saying on the YouTubes. Give her laced boots. Laced boots. Here's the thing about laced boots. I could give her laced boots, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna lean not to give her laced boots because guess what? I'm gonna have to draw the laces. You have to think about that for how many pages you draw. Now you're drawing a bunch of laces. I might still do it, but I'm just explaining why I would be against it, especially if I don't have to. It's not like lace boots are going to be a game changer for her design. You know? Decked out like the Punisher, we don't want that. You know what I mean? We don't want that. A hatchet, a tomahawk, a melee weapon. She might get that, but I just want to get her general vibe first before we go crazy with the thing. But drop some likes, guys. 100. This is the highest I've seen people. It's 150 people on stream. Drop some likes. Last time we hit 300 likes. We're about to hit 200. So if we beat 300, maybe we hit 400. That would be greatly appreciated. Why is she already pretty and I can't see her face? Yes. Out of all of them, y'all should let me know in the let me know in the chat why or what you like or what you would do. If this is A, you got B, you got C, you got D, E. Like, what elements would you take? Like, I don't think any of them are perfect. But I'm thinking C. Maybe D. You know who we could try? You know who we could try? Let's try Ailey True Grit. So like, what if take the design? Maybe there's another pouch there, cause why not? But let's say we took. So we took you. Took you. And then we. Let me see something. In my head, I was like, what would it be like with a short sleeve? A character with a short sleeve. No. And no poncho either. I thought maybe one of them could be a poncho. Well, I'll still try and visually see it, but And then it could be yeah. So you got the braids. Maybe and I've gone for like square glasses, cause square. Remember? Remember? I'm on worst behavior. Is that it? Got to save. Don't forget to save, because that would be disastrous. Part of me wants to. Part of me wants to. I don't know, like simplify the design even more. Maybe get rid of this. Right? And if we're looking, we got a trim a square here, which I think works. You got a circle here. Her whole body is kind of like, you know, triangles. The gun's a triangle. Right? If you want. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking? We good? We're cooking? Are we cooking? Are we cooking or no? Quick and the Dead Sharon Stone. Nah. Maybe for one of the if I mean I like the attire, but like for the main character, I'm thinking new. I'm thinking new. There's a Bass Reeves show coming out? Or is it out already? Is it canceled? And they said like maybe one of the historians was like, you know, Bass Reeves could have inspired Lone Ranger. Right? But Lone Ranger don't look like Bass Reeves, I'll tell you that. How convenient. Now, Will Reeves. Okay, never mind. But there was a HBO Watchmen. There was something there. I can't remember. What's this? Alright, so are we cooking though? That's what we're trying to figure out here. Have we cooked? I don't know if we've cooked. Please keep hitting the likes. I appreciate that. Give her laser boots. Yeah, we're not. I don't think we're doing that. Ask questions. Can she? What's it called? Cooking. Try a line down the middle in the pants. Yeah, we could try that. Yeah, as a sharpshooter, right? She's not moving too much. She doesn't need to. Or surprisingly she could. But what you guys think about what are you guys thinking about F? It's easy F, baby. Or are we still liking all the other stuff, right? We liking some other stuff. One line can eat. Makes it easy. And then you have that. And, you know, she's covered up. You have like you know, the gun itself, I'm thinking because if this is something we're going to draw over and over and over and over and over again, keeping all that in mind, maybe as that. Yep, and there's something where you go. No, none of that. Simplify. Simple, simple, simple. Don't get it. Don't make it look too crazy. It was like a, pow, you know. Again, something like this, like the gun, it might change when we're storyboarding, and it's like, oh, okay, I need her to do something, but maybe this gun doesn't fit, and then we'll do a little bit more research on a gun that's more appropriate, right? Or at least tweak the design just enough. So all this stuff is just to get the ball rolling, and you go from there. Maybe the gun has like a signature of some kind on it. Making it even extra special. It's kind of like, I think the Devil May Cry pistols have some name on it. The gun could also have a name. Maybe, I don't know. Step by step. And if we're thinking color, let's get some, just based off of the story we wrote. Again, if you're familiar with the story, or you want to be, you can watch the previous streams. You might still not be familiar with it, but we have some kind of foundation down. Let's do that. Oh, let's do that. Let's bring it back down, actually. Yeah. So we're just getting out the colors. Y'all can let me know what ideas for colors you have. Like, we could play along and do that, but we could try to dissect all these other designs, but this one was already, incomplete anyways. I knew that. I toyed around the idea of maybe giving, in my head before I drew it, but like giving a poncho of some kind. But I already don't know, It would then be like this. I already don't know about the poncho. The reason I like the poncho, though, is because it would give a clear shape design, shape language. And then her boots will also, like, the silhouette will be strong in a weird way. But I think this also kind of does that. And that's why instead of a full-on poncho, I have like something, something there. She's got class. Lucille, or whatever we end up naming her, it's got some class. You know what I'm saying? Let's go here. That main color, I don't know. I don't know what that main color is. For him, it's clearly like it's red. For her, could be, let's see. It's like a lemon. Hold on. So we'll get that. Similar to the shape language, you kind of want one of the colors to really be more than 50%, like to really take most of it, to be a focal point. There'll be some things that are obviously not that, but we'll kind of go from here. Y'all give me a second. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. back now. This feels like pants would be more practical if she's gonna be horseback riding. And you know what? You raise a point. It's like some practical elements here. I feel like maybe the skirt is a little too goody two shoes. Not goody two shoes, but just not active enough. You know? So I kind of agree with that. So before we actually even jump in coloring it, I agree with that. Temporano art. I agree with you. I agree. Trilobite Project Comics. What's up? Have a great stream. Appreciate you. See you live on YouTube as well. Same thing. C is just right. Yep. C is just right. But yeah, just make her a little bit more active. I think the skirt, it could be maybe part of her attire in some instances, but this is making me want to move into the directory of let me see. So pinkish green. Turn to a cape. That's your ads. Dark bonds. Pine green is good. How many gunslingers are in this book? We'll figure that out We'll figure that out. Do you have a server? If you mean a Discord server, there's a link in the description. You guys can go all of you can join my Discord. So maybe sometimes during the day when I'm not streaming, I'll add some stuff in the Discord. But you guys can join the Discord. There should be a link in the description. Again, if you're here, please like the video. Let's see if we can blow past 300. So this is making me rethink the skirt, actually. Just not that in my head so far, I don't think she's going to be on a horse. But it's just more comfortable with something else than this giant skirt. I like the square element for the shape language of it, but I think it could be like really baggy. I think it might be better to make it baggy. Hold on. Right, so from far it looks like a skirt, but you come up close and it's not. So it's almost like C and D a little bit. Yeah, then we proceed. Obviously, I'm just pulling in the flats. Obviously, we're gonna get more colors than this, but I'm testing out this being the predominant color. Adding a little bit of color to the Wild Wild West. Maybe we can play some music as we do this.
The call to adventure, like the call to leave.
What did you wrong with my hand? Took my brain from my skeleton, put it on a silver platter. Mouse traps, snakes and ladders. I said I love you, but that just won't fix it. We'll see each other in heaven. In heaven. The levels, can I win? Can I eat this video game? And the people talking around me makes you feel so lonely. You said I love you, but that just won't fix it. No, I love you, no, I want too much. The birds in the bird nest burned down. Glad you left right now, silly, but that just won't fix it. We'll see each other in heaven and heaven and heaven.
I will be back again. Give me a bit. It's funny because I'm actually cooking in the other kitchen.
In heaven.
Call to adventure, like the call to leave behind the everyday world, the common, ordinary world of family and social reality, and go in quest of something, not even quite sure what it is, but somehow motivated. This whole question of what starts somebody off, on the transformation quest, the process is a very interesting one.
Back. We're back. We're enjoying the jams. Alright, let's power through this. Finish this video. Finish this design. We'll also need to like toy with other like colors, so you guys can leave suggestions in the chat. But at least let's have this foundation. I'm thinking it could be the same color here for that. Not so much the shoes. I'm thinking that. Maybe that could still be the same color, but darker. Same for the hat. Right, so we'll have all kinds of color hats, but we talked about in previous streams where it's like you have black hats and white hats, and now normally in these kinds of lore, like a black hat's usually a black bad guy, a white hat's a good guy. And then the series, if it continues beyond the one shot, could kind of play around with that dynamic. Obviously, you have some white hats that are not good guys, and vice versa. And then you have all kinds of colored hats, and it can keep this. It'll be a colorful shonen western, if that makes sense, but not too colorful. I don't want it to be crazy colorful. I still want it to be dull and gringy and dirty and not so saturated. And so actually, maybe this is the color where maybe the other one is too bright. So maybe this actually. Yeah, I prefer that. Then got this gun over here. I think elements of it will be kind of silvery. Right? So let's say you come here and we go honestly the whole thing. So y'all should get your color suggestions ready. Like the video again. Just want to blow past 300. I'll take 350. But just to mentally in my brain growth. Honestly, it doesn't really matter that much, but it will just be nice. Get some of that. And you know what? This a little bit more saturation on that little gold thing. Right there, right there, right there. Actually, maybe the hilt could be that. So we're doing some character design, also some weapon design. You know? Some of the buttons can be gold. The edge of this, or at least a yellowish gold. Some of these designs kind of look like, I don't know if anybody's ever played Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation 2 and you had like the guide packet and it had some character designs in it. They were kind of scratchy and rough, kind of like this. That's there, and then you come here and you, let's see. Here. Right? And I'm thinking you. Yeah. Again, this is the first draft of our little character here. Belt goes across, and here you got some. What we could do is, obviously you got maybe some whites in the eyes, but you can have like golden is too no, because again I don't want her to, they're not rich, and gold might be too much royalty vibes, you know. Do something here though. So that part pops, but maybe the actual glasses aren't that. So you go here, and again, want it primarily square because of the shape language stuff. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, and that should do the trick. Okay, so there's elements here that I think could be a different color. Let's go with something a little bit more orange. Color-wise, we're still figuring stuff out, but for the most part, I like what we got. I'd like to see them side by side, but it's okay. So what are you guys thinking? a bayonet on the end. Let me see. No. I mean, no. It's too much. Too much. Too much. Too much, darling. No. Again, it depends. I might be doing something with the story and maybe it requires it, but I feel like it's too... Let's not go too crazy with it. I can't unsee the man in the yellow hat now. Who's the man in the yellow hat? You can have her pissed he's slandering her name. Yeah, there could be some stuff there. If we get like videos, bump that up. Give her... Yes! I thought about that. Gloves. I thought about gloves. I did think about gloves. Thank you for reminding me. Yep, that was the one thing I was like, I don't mind it. It's not like it's crazy easy to see anyways, but and then the gloves color. Because it's so close to her skin, what if it was... What if it was this? Like it was, sorry, this. Now, one thing to know, obviously in the live stream, you can't, it's not by force to do absolutely everything on stream. Part of it is just getting the design up to a certain point and then kind of having tweaks as time goes on. So this is still just a draft. This is not the final design for the character just yet. Especially since it's our first attempt really trying to nail it. Yeah, I prefer that than the brown actually. But we're getting there. We're getting there. To toy around with. Let me see this and then that. No. What about yellow gloves? That works. No, I guess lost. Again, we're working on it, but I'm pretty satisfied so far for our first attempt, first draft. Or Lucille or Cassandra. I think eventually something will come to me, especially once we start to write it. And so I might have a name for the character that actually, you know, fits like a, you know, as an Easter egg or something, or symbolizes something, or an anagram for something, or something along those lines. So these, no matter what, will always be placeholders. Um, you know, Cassie. We're still figuring it out. The gun design, that's also just a draft. As time goes on, we'll have new designs, and we'll come back to this Clip Studio Paint file and keep tweaking things here and there. Let's see here. I gave it the Sano eyebrows. Yeah, I need to get used to drawing cowboy hats and all this stuff. And make sure it's not bigger than it needs to be. Make sure we're getting it just right. So you got this over there. Let's see if we can even do that. Even the hairstyle, we've kind of like settled with the hairstyle, but I'm still open to like changes to that and seeing what, just continuing to explore as time goes on. Hair color, definitely with the color, I don't think I'm settled with that just yet. What's going on? I don't think we're fully done just yet. Something's up with my pen. We'll come back to it. But pen's acting funky right now. But for the most part, y'all getting the hang of it. Again, just like it. Hopefully, at least we can get to 250. Is this a new series for you after Apple Black? No, again, it's just gonna be a one shot that I'm planning. I'm not doing anything too extravagant after it. It's just a one shot, guys. Just a one shot. If anything happens beyond that, then you'll know. Anything that 90% of everything that's happening with this series or story or one shot, whatever, will be on live stream, so you guys will know. But the current plan is just a one shot, one standalone, satisfying chapter that introduces us to this world. That maybe, could continue, but doesn't guarantee it will continue. And even if I have to make it, I'll make it with manga assistance. So it's not something, it could be after, it could not be, this could be it. I don't know. But it's just an open, fun thing that you guys are witnessing the full-on live streaming creation of, if that makes sense. Excuse me. Keep the likes coming. Got 130 of you in here. That's pretty cool to see. Are you still going to work on Apple Black? Yes. I'm still writing Apple Black Volume 6 and 7. And you guys have been great. For those who don't know, please go cop. Check it out. The reviews have been great. And hopefully we get more. If you've gotten Apple Black, please, again, go leave a review on Amazon and Goodreads. Both. It helps a great deal. You have no idea. The yellow gloves is a bit much. Yeah, I don't know. The colors for her are still kind of subject to change, but I think we have enough to keep going. Clementine is a good name. I like Clementine. Clementine? I like Clementine. That is one mean suggestion. My stylus is acting up, so drawing wise, we might be a little bit cooked. But so I don't forget, that is a good. I like that idea. I'm literally using the mouse pad. That is a nice suggestion. We'll see if it sticks. I'm still going to kind of explore, but I like Clementine. Let's see what else we got. Hi, I'm new to making manga. I want to make manga right now. It's super hard. Well, join the party. This is where we're going to be cooking, and hopefully while I cook, you'll get some ingredients and techniques and tips and yada yada yada. You can ask your questions here. This is also a live podcast, a Q&A, whatever you want to call it, and I'll be able to answer any questions you guys might have. Check out the Powder Mage book. Never heard of that. It's not fully cowboy, but it's a very cool concept, though it may not be shonen. It doesn't matter. Spaghetti westerns aren't shonen, but you can still draw from them in interesting ways. So are you going for more of a hot color theme? I don't know yet. I'm just gonna pretend like I made the decisions on purpose when everything is published, and then we'll just go from there. Over time, we'll establish a tone and a vibe for it. But as of right now, you know, as wild as I don't want to go as wild as say One Piece gets with pirates, or Naruto gets with ninjas, but I don't want to be too realistic with what cowboys look like, color-wise, tone-wise, all of that. It's like a nice white manga Dunze middle that I'm trying to find, and then hopefully we get there. See any more questions? Ever thought of putting a bayonet? No bayonets. It's amazing to see how much you've improved in the past 10 years. I appreciate you, VV. Shout out to you for being with me throughout this journey, a decade plus, making these comics, and we will continue to do so. Shout out to everybody who's enjoyed all the videos, all the shorts. And there's more to come. Regular videos will be coming back. Just give me a bit, right? Give me a little bit. Working on it. But regular videos will come back. Please keep liking the videos. When is the next stream? The next stream, as of right now, let's say Monday. Monday around this time, 4 p.m. CT. But, you know, there might be a stream even before then. But if that's the case, I'll usually alert. So make sure you follow me on, you know, obviously YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you stay notified each time I upload absolutely anything. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all that, and then you'll know for sure. But for sure, it'll be Mondays. The VODs, the streams, the past streams, they're on a playlist on the channel right now, so you can always join that. This video will join that list, and then we'll just continue going from there. Are you in need of more assistance? Not at the moment, but if something opens up and there's maybe too many projects on my plate, and make sure you follow me everywhere. I usually put a call out for assistance if I need them, and that's how I got the assistants that I do have, who have been clutch, and they were super clutch, especially on these 2 volumes. They did a little bit on volume 3, but not too much. Mainly these, and I like the new system I have going on. I'm trying to build a system of video editors so that I can put out more YouTube content more frequently on just regular YouTube, just regular videos, not streams. That is what I'm currently trying to build. And so if I can have it working the same way I have it working on Manga Assistance, and we just keep building from there, that's where I want to be. And that way it can just be video. And if I need to take a break and go do comics, some comic stuff, which I'm still doing, right? But right now, let's say Apple Black Volume 6 is mostly in the writing phase, so I'm not drawing anything right now. And then I also do some other drawing work here and there, some editorial work. So I'm kind of like a manga editor a little bit for another company and a consultant in a way. So those kind of projects, I'm still doing them, but I am free enough in this little window to do what we're doing here. I did a 100-page comic in the last 3 months. I didn't color it, but I did everything else, and I used, I got help from manga assistants as well on those, and they obviously came in clutch, made it so much easier for me. And that's a comic that I've never mentioned. Don't know the name. You don't know anything about it. It'll be out at some point. But that's in color. It looks pretty cool. I didn't write it. But I did the art except for the coloring. Even did some of the flats with my manga assistants. So there's like projects that I've done, I've been a part of. In some cases, in the development phase. Some cases I was almost a part of, but because I was so busy doing other stuff, couldn't do it. All kinds of stuff, so many moving pieces that this was a little window where we can actually get this done, and I can keep writing Apple Black while still putting out some content here, because this is how most of y'all found me, through video, and I just, I don't want to lose that. So shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all for showing up to the stream. Again, like that video. Let's see if we can get it to 250. If you haven't already, really appreciate it. If you've gotten the books, really appreciate it. Let me see here. Let's see what we got here. Again, these designs are just drafts. They're going to be very rough for now. I'm not trying to do anything too dramatic. I might even do something, give the hat a little bit more personality here and there. A little bit more to it. So this is still very early things. Oh, shoot. See what we got here. Okay. see here. Seeing what we got over there. Still working out the colors. Like I said, some of the decisions can be made later. But just for a first draft, I think we did good for a first draft, right? First attempt, first real attempt at the characters. I think we're good. To be nice to see how they kind of look side by side. See if I can do that. Again, a lot of these character design stuff, this will be available. Even the files, especially upon request, will be available for members on the channel and patrons from Patreon. Like, you guys will get a lot more perks, a lot more behind the scenes assets and things like that. Some exclusively. But just hold on. Yeah, I definitely prefer Clementine to Lucille. I think. I don't know. Like I said, we'll figure it out. And so if we go here, meet the kids, boom, and then we go see right there. And then we come here. Go to PNG. Kid. Oopsies. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Yeah, for skirt, Dominic, Mysterio, entrance, attire. I can kind of, if we're thinking about the same thing, then maybe, but I'm not. I'm okay with this because it's easier, cleaner. Again, these are drafts, so maybe it's something that I'll explore later. But again, just to give our two leads, a face, you know, something to start with. I think we're doing good. You know, I talked about, like, you know, the if you remember the streams back where we're kind of fleshing out the characters a little bit. I was like, maybe he reads dime novels, and I showed you guys what dime novels were, and it's almost like propaganda a little bit. But maybe he's aware of Billy the Kid and likes those adventures, hence the name Amechi the Kid. Maybe he gets the moniker he gets at the end. And I was thinking that, you know, maybe she gets gets a nickname at the end too, maybe based off of the events that happened in the series. But then, you know, calling the series Heartbreak the Kid feels almost like the full focus is on him. You know, maybe if it was the name of the series was something combined with both. So if she's a good shot, maybe her name was like, I don't know, Clementine Bang something, whatever her last name, right? And then the series could be called Bang Bang the Kid. No. Bang Bang and the Kid. No. We're still working on it. Maybe we'll have a short stream, or another future stream where we kind of take a deep dive on what's actually happening. Thanks for the likes. Please continue to like. Shout out to those on IG as well. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. If you can't make it to YouTube, but YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok is acting weird, probably because of the ban. Excuse me. And so as a result, you know, I'm liking what we have so far. You know? I'm liking what we have so far. Not feeling the hairstyle for the male. Yeah, everything, you know, we're still working on stuff. Although I like the hairstyle. I like the hairstyle a little bit, like not too much of a problem. Bang, Clementine and the Kid. I don't know. No. I do like Bang Bang in the title. For some reason. Almost like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Or even weird like Don Da Don. Or it's like, what does that even mean? I don't even know. But it's still working on stuff. The gloves, yeah, maybe the gloves could be darker. Maybe the gloves could match. Let's see. The pouch colors. But then it'll get lost when she's holding the... yeah, no. It'll get lost as she holds it, so no. And then we could go back to this. Yeah, especially if you get your hands dirty. Maybe a bright colored gloves aren't the way. Still working on it. Or it could be I would have gone for the shoes, but the shoes are too close to the skin color as well. Again, we're still working it. We are still working it, guys. We are still working it. Still working it. There was an idea, maybe for the hair. You know, something like that. No. No, definitely no. What's up, meow? Making a little cameo? You don't want me to draw, do you? Let's see here. Now it really looks like that the Digimon character I was talking about before. We got all kinds of ideas, but I don't like this. I don't even know what this is. You know? Yeah, I might actually save this just for kicks. MCs, save it. But I definitely want his hair to have some of that triangle shape language, spiky, dangerous feel. Definitely not round, so I didn't even bother exploring that. I already didn't like it. Bang, a shot to the heart. No. Give him Bantu knots. Let me see. I mean, it's similar to already to what he has. But no, I'm also thinking about who styled this. I guess it doesn't matter with, like, you know, it's manga. You can do whatever you want. Already, no one's really rocking all this red and the way he is, especially. So it doesn't even matter that much. But I don't hate the hairstyle as is, especially when you consider where we started with him. It's like it was like that, and then that, and then that, and once we got here, I've kind of kept it because I don't mind it. Especially, I want the pattern in the middle. Like, I don't mind it. It's also different. It's also unique. Like, it's good to have something that I don't think anybody else kind of has, or is different enough from everybody else's. Her hairstyle is not that different, especially for this era, but while I'll consider other ones, I'm still quite pleased with it for the most part. And so, ain't really tripping that much. Yeah, the line in the middle. I like the line in the middle. You see? This is how different we are. I like the line in the middle. You know, it kind of reminds me of there's certain hairstyles, and I think I have like a sample that really feels from that era as well, but obviously this is almost like a black interpretation. Or at least his interpretation. Let me see if I can find it. Bartender Westworld. Yeah, kind of like this guy got like the patch in the middle. And I think that's what I was going for a little bit. Not exactly, but. And so as a result, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. And, you know, if the series continues, you know, whatever the Super Saiyan equivalent would be in this series, then his hair can grow and be whatever and do all wild stuff and change color and yada, yada, yada. But you got to start from somewhere, you know? You know? You know? So, yeah, I like what we got. Still subject to change, but I think this is a good base. It's a good place to be. You guys can let me know in the comments like you already have. I'd love to hear even more thoughts. Yep, need to get rid. Well, no, I got rid of it. Okay. So make sure it's not blocking anything again. Put him in a Gucci bag. Why not? Maybe. We'll see. I'll consider it. Can't wait for Apple Black anime or short animated clip. That would be cool. There's a lot of cool stuff I could say about Apple Black, but don't want to jinx it, or either it's too early to talk about or discuss. But this year should be interesting. Let me put it like that. Will you be doing any horse designs? There'll definitely be some horses. Do I think they would be important enough to do a design for? Not quite yet. Not quite yet, but you know the series, because we already talked about in previous streams, or somebody could have like a Pegasus horse, so that's an option. But as of right now, this is all I got, guys. We got to 250 likes, not 300, but I'll take it. It's fine. I appreciate everybody showing up to the stream. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. We designed all of these. Go back to the previous streams to catch everything. And we're still figuring stuff out. And so far, so good. I'll be taking any last couple questions. And then we'll dip. Speaking on the Pegasus idea, maybe someone has a kelpie. What's that? I don't know what that is. No idea what that is. A kelpie? Like a dog? Yeah, maybe. Sure. Australian sheepdog. Why not? You know what? I did toy around with the idea of one of the characters, having a pet. And in my head, I was thinking a snake. I don't know why, but it could be a dog. A dog is more, you know, friendly. A water horse kelpie. It's a water horse? Okay. I need to do more research then. But what? Horses that can walk on water? Okay, so we're talking mystical stuff. That's what you're talking about. Mythical creature. Oh, I see. I saw like the Australian kelpie or kelpie, and I just called it a day. You know, once you put mythical, and then I'm seeing like what it looks like a snake, dragon, Scottish folklore. Let me see. Horses that could walk on. Yeah, maybe. I actually like this idea. It's kind of spooky. Maybe a villain could have it. I like this. I like that. Shout outs to you. A cobra snake would be clean. Will there be magic involved? Definitely. If you look at the say the other character sheet, you can clearly see some mumbo jumbo. So definitely there'll be some of that in there. You know, it'll be fun when we get to it. But that's it. That's it, guys. That's all I have for y'all. Hopefully you've enjoyed the stream so far. And we'll continue to cook. Are you taking this one shot in slightly grounded direction, but definitely there will be some powered stuff. You know, people doing all kinds of abilities and things like that. Bang and the kid. Bang bang and the kid. Bang bang and like spelled with N and the kid. I don't know. We'll see. Because I'm also thinking of the logo. It could be like bang bang. I don't know. We'll see. Since it be Wild West themed, maybe gunsmiths can play a big role in forging special guns. That's cool. We're gonna have this is girl that's Billy. I'm gonna have a stream about the world building, and I think that's a good one. You know, like the gunsmiths making like there being special guns. We talked about like some of the cowboy hats. Some could be special. They could be enhancers. Cowboy boots, guns and weapons definitely. So the gunsmiths, swordsmiths, blacksmiths, all the smiths can be something as well. Clementine and war paint. I didn't want to give both of them war paint. I was thinking in my head, she could be special in a different way, especially with her gun. So like maybe the gun could be something special, right? And that could be how she stands out and being a good shot. And then maybe in the future, if it continues, that could be a moment, another cool moment where she gets something. But for this one shot, I think it'll be too much. And so I'm thinking of just a Meichi having it and not both. Will there be robots? I don't know. At some point, maybe. It doesn't matter. For the one shot, none of that. But we'll get there over time. Yeah, like a dead eye. You know, yes. Maybe she can ricochet a shot. Like give her like really cool moments in the series. I think that would be really sick. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for showing up to the stream. We didn't hit 300 likes, but it's fine. It's okay. Next time we'll hit 400. And so